Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarapal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Folks, I want to tell you a story about a 43-year-old woman, a close friend with everything that life has to offer, job, house, husband, and pregnant, who supported and helped you through your breakdown of losing your father, suddenly dies, just like that. It leaves you vulnerable, face down, and broken to the core. Getting back up and moving forward despite the ground being ripped away beneath you is the last thought on your mind. All you want to do is curl up and die. Instead, our guest got a clear message from the universe one night that lifted her hopes and gave her wings to fly. Please help me in welcoming Theresa Fowler, aka The Thought Shifter. She's an author, mentor, and energy worker whose life purpose is to support the divine feminine in women, to own their divine gifts, and to go from breakdowns to breakthroughs. Welcome, Theresa. How are you?
I'm very well, Sashka. Thank you very much for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you here, and it's so awesome to meet you as well.
Yes, you too.
Your story is amazing. So we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to have an amazing time asking you all these questions. So that night that you stood out there all day asking the universe for a sign, and the answer that came back to you was love yourself. What thoughts went through your mind, and how did your journey to loving yourself start?
Okay, well, yeah, that was probably the biggest breakdown. That's what I call my dark night of the soul. I had been putting it aside. I knew about the dark night of the soul, but it was something I thought, no, I'm doing all this personal development work. I'm fine. I'm happy now, because I'd spent decades literally hating myself. So I thought, yeah, I'm fine. I understand self-love. Yes, I take care of myself. Everything's great. But yeah, it was a friend's death that hit me, combined with the fact that I had to grieve my father, because I dealt with his death with red wine and Valium, so I didn't have to feel. And I also got sick again. I was living in another country that was foreign, that I didn't really speak the language. I was alone, and I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I was literally crying, begging the universe to give me an answer, because I had no idea what else to do. And that's when I heard that little soft voice, which I realized at the time, oh my God, that's my higher self. And yeah, she told me, love yourself. And I thought, right. I've always had a very analytical, intelligent mind that always wanted to know why, when, how. And I thought, okay, how do I love myself? How am I going to do this? And so I started delving, and literally, I think it was only about 2 or 3 days later, you know how the universe works. It was only 2 or 3 days later when I came across a lecture of Dr. Hugh Lynn Ikalihakala, who teaches Ho'oponopono. And I thought, okay, I've heard of this before. And it was a lecture with Joe Fatale, who was also in The Secret. And I was like, okay, well, I've heard of them. Okay, well, I've got nothing to lose. Let's have a go. And I watched this lecture, and it was 9 hours. And yeah, and it was all about self-identity and how the subconscious works and how to get back in alignment with higher self. And basically it was so easy. And I thought, okay, well, the universe is supposed to be easy, and I really have nothing to lose, so let's just try it. And basically you just say to yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And you're talking to your inner child as you say this. So it's helping to heal that wound, because we separate ourselves from our bodies so that we don't have to feel, but that inner child is always with us. And that inner child is the one who's holding all those deep wounds. So once I started practicing that, it was probably only 10 days when I started feeling like amazing. I just woke up one morning going, oh, all of a sudden I feel better. Oh, this is weird, because like the other day, was like probably one of the worst days of my life. And all of a sudden I'm feeling better. Okay, well, let's just keep going. So I started doing it as a little mantra, even when I was like walking down the street or something. And I realized that on a cellular level, I started feeling love for myself. It wasn't just a concept in my head anymore, which had kept me stuck for so long. Yeah, so I started feeling it. And once I started feeling it, it was like, that's the difference. That is the difference. Because once you start feeling on a cellular level that love for yourself, everything changes. It sounds so cliche, but it's true. Everything changes. And the universe starts working for you. Well, the universe always works for you, but you start believing and feeling that the universe has your back.
Yeah, that veil gets lifted. Sure.
Yes.
I just got goosebumps all over.
I tend to do that to people these days.
Wow, because it is that simple. We make it.
It's so simple. It's so simple. It's just like, as I learned over my journey of losing the 100 pounds, the body wants to be healthy and the universe has our back. We're not here to be sick and miserable. That's not the whole point of this life. Of course, there are times when we will be sick and miserable because those are lessons we need to learn. That's why I've called the book Breakdowns to Breakthroughs, because it's just like the vibration. You have the breakthrough and then there comes a breakdown and you have another one, and then that's how life works. That's the vibration. But yeah, in general, we're supposed to be happy and healthy. And yes, then the lessons come along the way. It's supposed to be a flow.
Sure. Okay, so you say that self-awareness and expanding your consciousness are both necessary steps in personal development.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you expand on this a little?
It's about taking the time to understand who you are. It's about taking the time to understand exactly what it is that you like or you love and investing time into it. I've spent years in the corporate world doing this, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to pay the bills because I had to pay the bills because we have the mortgage to pay. So I understand, but that also made me chronically ill. And there came a point, it was standing at my father's grave, when I first heard my higher self speaking to me, although I didn't realize that's what it was at the time. But standing in his grave, I heard the voice saying, "Get healthy." And I thought, I don't know how to do that. What the hell? I don't know how to do that. But I knew that if I didn't, that I would be following him in 5 or 10 years. I knew it. So I knew that I just had to do something. Get healthy. Okay, find out how. Let's research on how to get healthy. Who can I ask? And the thing is, we always have to ask for help. We can't see our stuckness because it's hiding in our subconscious somewhere. But we can get somebody to go, all right, there's that stuckness, and then you can work on it. But yeah, it's about investing time in yourself. I know if you're working 60, 70 hours a week and all you want to do is sit in front of the TV when you get home. And, I remember when I was teaching personal training, after I lost all the weight, I became a personal trainer as well. And people saying, "Oh, but I don't have time." And I was like, okay, well, I used to say that, but then I stopped watching soap operas. That was like a half an hour every night. I stopped watching a soap opera. So I have that half an hour which I can do something else. Yeah. And it's a cumulative effect. This process, yes, I started when I was 43. I'm almost 53 now. So that's almost 10 years. This has been a huge process, but I've had to invest that time in myself. That's the only way we're going to do it. Nobody else can do it for you.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. What's the difference between self-love as a concept and self-love as a lifestyle?
Okay. Self-love as a concept, I think everybody understands. But it's all in our heads. So, people, even I used to say, okay, yes, of course I love myself because I took myself up to the spa, or I bought myself exactly what I wanted, or I did my nails, or, went to the beach, or doing nice things for yourself. That is absolutely fantastic. It gets you there. It's a stepping stone to get you to feeling it. But self-love as a lifestyle is like consistently, you feel it on a cellular level. Tingling now as I say this. You feel it on a cellular level. It's just being love. And I know that this is how we come into the world, because when you see little babies or you see little toddlers and they're always walking around with their arms outstretched and smiling and happy because their heart center's open, and then eventually it starts closing down and the shoulders hunch over and we close our heart space and we have traumas and we cause more blockages and make more walls. So it is learning how to open again. And that's being vulnerable, which is really scary. In fact, it's absolutely terrifying, and it kept me away from doing the work I needed to do for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Exactly. It's extremely vulnerable, but then the more vulnerable you are with it, the easier it is, because you become more authentic, and then it's so much easier to see people immediately. Once you're on that vibration, people go, oh, I see you. And there's none of that sort of, oh, I like that person. Well, maybe I'll get their number, and then like, oh, I don't want to bother them. So like, oh, I'll leave it a few days and then like maybe call them for a coffee. There's none of that. It's just sort of like, I see you. Wow, you're amazing. What can we do to help each other?
Exactly.
Let's stand together and lift each other up and change this world together. That's been the most fantastic thing about this whole process.
Well, just seeing you, it's hard to imagine you the opposite of that self-love.
I know. I know.
But we have to go through the process, so you know what's love, what's hate, what's light, what's shadow. And
absolutely.
But it's like, holy shit, like Theresa's like this awesome flower. You even got flower in your hair.
I know, I'm even wearing this flower in my hair now. I know.
It's amazing.
It has been a quantum leap. People talk about quantum leaps, and I understood quantum leaps for ages. I was like, ugh. But it's the resistance that holds us back. And once we break through that, and I'm not saying, I'm perfect, but no way, I still have days when I haven't had one for a while, but I still have days when you want to stay under the duvet and like, oh, I don't want to be an adult. But when those times happen now, it's like, okay, well, I know this is some kind of resistance that's been brought up and I've been triggered. So what are we going to do about it? Let's like break through. I have lots of energy tools to work through it, or just go take a nap and have a sleep and you wake up feeling on a better vibration.
That's so true.
Yeah.
When we talk about self-love, especially amongst women, it tends to be an outer love for yourself, aka the perfect body, the skin, the hair, pampering yourself, going for massage, facial, small stuff. Because things are, I'm not asking too much, in inverted commas.
Yes.
And because it's really how women have been programmed. I mean,
absolutely.
Think about fairy tale stories like Cinderella or Rapunzel. They were all slaving away with housework and denied the self-love stuff because only the privileged were allowed. So loving yourself is kind of considered selfish and vain.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on this, and what are your words of wisdom on this?
Okay, well, in the book, I say I'm reclaiming the word selfish, because when you actually look at the old school definition of selfish, itself is a suffix of knowing. So selfish actually means knowing oneself. Even Abraham Hicks says, well, you have to be selfish, because if you weren't, nobody else knows you more than you.
So true.
So we have to be selfish.
Yes.
But selfish has been programmed, and we've been conditioned to believe that selfish means narcissistic or arrogant, and those are completely different things.
Yeah.
Completely. So yes, I'm reclaiming the word selfish.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I am selfish. I know myself. We have to know ourselves.
That's a tweetable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I choose selfish.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag selfish.
How do our bodies and the universe speak the same language leading towards...
well, because the highest vibrational frequency of the universe is love. We all are born into love. As soon as that spark and did you know that when the egg hits the sperm, there is actually a spark of light?
Oh, wow.
I know. Isn't that beautiful? So, yeah, we come into this universe.
Excuse the pun.
Yeah, exactly. we come into this universe in a spark of love. Love is the highest vibrational frequency. Fear is the lowest. Most people are conditioned to fear. We are programmed to fear on a daily basis. Even if it's not the news that's making us fearful, it's an advertisement for something shiny, which is basically fear, because it's saying that if you don't have this, then you're not good enough, which keeps us in fear. So yeah, highest vibrational frequency is love. Our bodies resonate with love and fear, yes, but love is a vibration of nature. Nature is love. You know, you see the flowers coming up in springtime, everything's love. And love feels good. Love feels amazing. We all know what it's like when we fall in love. So, you know, that feeling when you fall in love, you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing, and life is amazing, and nothing can touch me, and la 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 la. Well, imagine if you feel that for yourself. If you can feel that feeling for yourself and not have to rely on somebody else to give you that feeling, then, like, you know, you're having a great life, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I love that. Oh, my favorite secret that you mention in your book, Breakdowns to Breakthroughs, the 7 secrets you need to know to love yourself,
yes,
is by feeding your brain the way nature intended it to be fed. This is so true for me personally. As I sought out knowledge and wisdom over self-love in picking up the pieces, I needed the proof that getting back on your feet was possible. Yeah. Do you have a favorite secret that perhaps triggered off your journey to where you are now?
I think it is probably secret number 6. But, you know, the vibrational nutrition is key. That literally started my entire journey because I had to get healthy and realizing that, hold on, nature has literally provided everything we need. And talking about frequencies again, the frequencies of light, the rainbow, every food that is provided to us by nature is a rainbow of colors. We actually need that rainbow. The rainbows align with the colors of our chakras. We actually need to eat real food because that real food provides everything our body needs to function in an optimal way.
Wow.
So we need to eat healthy for our brains. And this was only coming to me when I started writing the book. I was like, I have 6 secrets. What's the 7th? Oh, hold on. Vibrational nutrition, of course. It's all a vibration. Yes, nutrition, it's key. If you're, say, you're working and you're doing well, you do your meditation, you're doing your affirmations, you're doing some personal development work, everything's going great, but you're eating McDonald's every day, you're not going to break through that resistance barrier because the cellular part of your body literally won't be able to do it on a cellular level. You won't be able to break through. But, you know, saying that if you're eating McDonald's every day, that's not really happening anyway. You're not going to be that happy anyway. Walk past the fast food place, you never see happy people.
That's also true.
Yeah, they're all stuffing their faces, but there's no smiling going on. There's no laughter.
Except the kids.
Except the kids, yeah. But
I think it's more the kids. It's more they're spending time together in inverted commas, whether it's
exactly, and they're getting free plastic toys.
Yeah. I bought your happiness, but
exactly.
Oh my God. How do you love yourself? How do you love yourself?
How do you love yourself?
I understand the concept, I understand the lifestyle, but how, like, I have a few people in my mind at the moment when I'm listening to you and I'm going, damn, you know, this is so for them. But I know if they listen to they go, where do I start?
But where do I start? I know. Well, I mean, my journey was very interesting because I've picked up a lot of tools along the way to help me. I'm also a reflexologist, and I think it really struck me when I realized that I was able to read people's emotions through just touching their feet. And I'm like, hold on, that's not something they taught us when I took the course. So I realized that I was tapping into something that was more powerful than what I knew in my head. And also the fact that a lot of my reflexology clients come to me and they're only thinking in their head. And having I do have a very intellectual, analytical mind on this side of my brain, but it was learning to listen to the right side, the softer, higher self, the softer voice. And okay, so what is this? It's the disconnect from our bodies, basically. Most people are disconnected from the neck down. So if they have a pain in their body, a physical pain in their body, what have we been programmed to do? Reach for a painkiller. If we have an emotional pain going on in our heads because this is going blah, 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 and the subconscious is playing it over and over and over again, even though we may not be consciously aware of it, what do we generally do? I just want to have a drink and get out of my head. I used to say it all the time. I used to drink like a fish. I want to get out of my head. So completely disconnect what's going on from the neck down. The problem with that is that our body's always trying to tell us something. It's always giving us a signal. And that signal is to help us become aware that there's something out of balance, and right, we need to put it back into balance. And there are so many tools and energy ways to do that. There are so many ways to do that. So once I realized that, I realized, okay, so I should be allowing the feeling. And in my past life, even over the past few years, I've had to deal with lots of physical pain. I was so stressed at one point, I slipped a disc in my neck through the stress of holding onto the tension and closing down my throat chakra and not allowing my voice, which a lot of women do. It's allowing to feel that feeling. It's allowing to accept even the pain, because the pain is trying to teach you something. And it's breathing into that feeling. It's just allowing the feeling. And once you start allowing the feeling, even the not very nice feelings, I was going to swear there for a minute, even the not very nice feelings, it's a lesson, but you have to feel them. That's what they're there for. It's like emotions. It's like, oh, I don't want to be angry, or I don't want to feel frustrated, or if we weren't supposed to have those emotions, they wouldn't exist. It's accepting our shadow. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. Yeah. Accepting our shadow sides and forgiving ourselves. Those are the two main ways to start feeling that love. We have to forgive ourselves for all, okay, I'm going to swear now. We have to give ourselves for all the shitty parts of ourselves that we don't like. We have to forgive and embrace them with love. And that's probably the hardest part.
I like that. And it makes, for me, my auditory logic brain, it makes a lot of sense as a start point to acknowledge, for example, okay, I'm overweight, or I acknowledge I haven't taken care of my body with health. I acknowledge I had resentment towards my mother or father or grandparents or something, and then just let it go. I see you, acknowledge you.
Exactly. I acknowledge the situation. I acknowledge the people involved. I acknowledge myself in the situation, and I forgive and love myself for having gone through it.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, man. So now listen, we're coming to the end of our...
I know. I could talk to you for hours.
So for all those listening, you have to get the books. It's in inverted commas, easy read.
It is an easy read. I want to make this as accessible to people as possible. So, because people are busy, and women especially are busy, and they don't have time to learn all sorts of difficult things. And it's just like, no, this is easy. I just want you to understand why it is you don't love yourself, and that there are ways to get over it. And it's not quite published yet. It'll be published at the end of the summer.
Well, just from what I read in your first chapters, I was like, oh my God, I love this. It just flowed. It was awesome. So for the listeners, get the freebie in the meantime, get on the list so that you know when the book will be coming out.
Absolutely.
So Theresa, I ask all my guests 2 questions, and it's about my core values, and I'd like to hear your take on it by filling in the blanks.
Okay.
So passion for you is?
Passion for me is spreading the joy of love.
Yeah. Ooh, goosebumps.
Okay, me goosebumps.
Wisdom for you is?
Wisdom for me is feeling into my power. I just have to share something. Right, something that I realized. I've been imparting wisdom for a while now. I just realized that wisdom just kind of oozes out of me, which is so exciting. And I was imparting wisdom to a friend, and I had a giant hot flush at the same time. And I realized, oh, hold on. This is a wisdom download. It's not something to be feared, and then it all started coming to me. Oh, yes, the witches. Oh, they turned the wise old crone into a witch, to something to be feared, to take away the power of the divine feminine.
Wow. I love that.
That's in chapter 7.
So we're all wonderful mages. They try to get rid of us, but it's not going to work.
Exactly. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because we're rising now. The divine feminine is seriously rising. I know you can feel it. It's seriously rising, and we're holding hands with each other and cooperating, and that's how we're going to change the world.
Definitely.
That's how the world is going to change.
Yeah. Creativity for you is?
Creativity is allowing your divine gifts to shine through.
Here I am. And how do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
I want to change the world. Yeah, it changing the world doing what I do is the more people, or the more women especially, who feel into their self-love, the world will have to change, because the vibration will spread across the planet. You know, the more we love ourselves, the more we just feel in tune with all sentient beings. And yeah, the paradigm will shift. The paradigm's already shifting. It's not what most people see on the news, but the paradigm is already shifting. In the past 6 months, I've lost count with how many women around the world who I've made connections with, and we're all doing all sorts of amazing things to help each other grow. Not just in the past 6 months. So I know the paradigm is shifting. I know it's shifting.
And I'm part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I'd say stop watching the news.
Don't watch it anyhow.
Don't watch the news. There's no point. It's just programmed fear. Don't watch the news. We all know bad things are happening, but we can put more good and love into the world to help shift the paradigm even more. Raise that vibration. Yeah. It's possible. That's why we're here. I truly believe that's why we're here, and that's why we're here in this time, which is pretty exciting when you think about it. Yeah, exactly. We made contracts to come here at this particular time, and that's really exciting.
Be all the leaders and the warriors.
Exactly. It's really exciting. When I was in my early 30s, I used to think, nothing's going to happen in my life. And then early 40s, I was even going, well, I'm too old for anything now. And I'm like 53 now. I'm like, I feel younger. I feel more healthy. I feel absolutely amazing. Let's do stuff.
Uprise.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Oh man, Theresa, this has been awesome. I'm going to enjoy having a little bit of a quick chat after this now.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your wisdom with us and your divine femininity. Just make it up. I look forward to seeing the book when it comes out.
Absolutely.
And launching it. And obviously we'll be promoting it because it's awesome, and so are you. Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge and thank you for listening into your message and listening to that higher self and putting this into action. Otherwise we wouldn't have met and wouldn't have impacted each other. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sasha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.